let's face it, your life is chaos and you don't even know what is going on. You don't even know what is causing it. You just know that there's chaos happening outside of you and it feels like you're just a bystander in the game of life. And you can't do literally anything about it. But don't worry, I've been in this situation before, and now, since I've implemented the knowledge that I'm about to summarize for you in this video, you're gonna start to have more control over your life. And we're gonna get into how to actually cultivate this, and even on a more deeper level, on how you actually control the circumstances that happen to you. But more on that as we go through with the rest of this video. And yeah, I have helped people materialize jobs before, and one guy in our community recently he got a girl's number that he literally thought 1 year ago was impossible for him to get. So yeah, when it comes to taking control of your reality, yeah, I would trust myself when it comes to you. So, take some notes, go over this again, and yeah, let's lock in. The entire reason why you have no control over your reality is because you have no self-confidence. And when it comes to this topic of reality control or manifestation or whatever, it really comes to two simple components. And those are discipline and self-knowing. Let's be for real for a second. Before we go into the more deeper stuff, let's start with the more simple stuff that you can understand even right now. There are things in your life, and I know that there are, that you have been putting off. Let's be fucking serious with ourselves for a second. You need to hold yourself accountable. Because if you can't follow up on the things that you told yourself that you would do, then subconsciously that diminishes your self trust. And if you don't trust yourself subconsciously, then why the fuck should the universe trust you? Right? So then you have no confidence. You don't trust yourself at all. And so then how do you expect yourself to actually pursue what it is that you want and actually succeed in it? There are things, and I know that there are, whether it is studying more, reading books, waking up earlier, I don't know, eating more healthily, going on walks, exercising in the mornings more often. You understand what I'm trying to say? There are things that you have at the back of your mind that you're not doing right now. And so you need to really put in the effort and actually do those things every single day. Discipline is one of the words that is so underrated in this whole manifestation, or you can call it even self-improvement, side of YouTube, but it really is, because it is really one of the core foundational things. But yeah, more on that later. So that's the first component, discipline. You need to discipline yourself to actually do what it is that you told yourself and what you have been procrastinating on. Just get into it, man. Trust me, I know it feels impossible for those who actually want to do it, but trust me, once you take the first step, every single step afterwards is easier and easier. Like for example, I have it too with recording these videos. The first step of actually, doing the intro is the hardest part, but when I get into the flow, yeah, I become absolutely unstoppable. So let's continue. And this one is actually a more subtle one. And this one, I don't even blame you for it, for like 50%, and I'm gonna explain why. The second component is self-knowing. You have a lack of introspection. You don't self-introspect yourself enough. Because if there's chaos outside of you, then that means that there is chaos inside of you. And this is very deep. You see, the 21st century that we live in is so fast-paced that we don't even have time to process any thoughts that we get every single day. And if I'm being correct, every single day, subconsciously, we get between 40,000 and 60,000 thoughts. And since, the 21st century is so fast-paced, you literally blink and morning turns into nighttime. That's how bad it is on some days. And so, you need to take the time to just meditate. Let those thoughts flow out, and whilst you're there, you need to touch upon something very important also. You need to self-introspect yourself. Because whether you realize it or not, the world unfolds from you. You are quite literally the instrument through which the universe chooses the right people, conditions, circumstances, timings, and events that you will experience in your day-to-day life. It will respond to your most dominant beliefs, thoughts, ideas, I don't know, identities, and convictions. Yeah. And also those that are the most emotionally charged. And even when you look at it through a point of psychology, what you feel and think about yourself the most, what makes up your identity, is literally what will determine your action. And action is nothing more than a facilitator of your consciousness, of your state of mind, of your frequency, of your imagination, whatever term you want to give it. How you see yourself is how the universe will see you. And that's why it is so important that you first do the discipline, you clear you clean your mind, because thoughts are not something that you think, they are something that you experience. So if you think about yourself a thought that doesn't serve you, it's only there to control you. And then if it isn't processed and it goes into your subconscious mind, you're gonna be in for a hard time. And this is why people on the internet can influence you so easily, and that's why they can change your life so much, because if they can stir up emotions inside of you, which is then combined with a specific idea, then that will go straight into your subconscious mind. And since your subconscious mind is the womb of your reality, it is literally what makes up 90% of your state of consciousness, of your frequency, of your self-concept, whatever you want to call it, which then the universe responds to. So this is very, very important. But of course, we don't want to just self-introspect and meditate just to process those thoughts. I want you to really reflect on yourself. Reflect on your past. Reflect on your traumas. Reflect on your anxieties. And really ask yourself, why do I think this? And keep on going like that, over and over and over again. I want you to know yourself on such a deep level that you can talk about yourself basically for hours. And this is very important, because many people don't even have a problem manifesting. Because according to my favorite manifestation teacher, Nero Knowledge, manifestation is internally shifting to a degree to which you're no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing your reality change, which is just a fancy way of saying what you feel and think about yourself and the universe. So basically your circumstances, most dominantly, so subconsciously, then that is exactly what will get outpictured. And many people don't have problem with that, right? Like, it is easy to just think and feel about something differently. But, for example, and this is something very, very important. Let's say that you want to get rich, right? Or let's say, this is actually a better example. Let's say that you want to get a romantic partner. Well, if you saw your parents arguing as you were growing up, then your subconscious mind will equate love to pain. It will equate love to conflict, because your subconscious mind is illogical and irrational. It doesn't make connections based on logic, it makes them based on emotion. So when you go and tell yourself that, and you rearrange your state of consciousness to be reflective of someone that already has the healthy relationship, then your subconscious mind will go like, oh cool, so you have a relationship now. Okay, here you go. More pain, more bullshit, more fucked up people. You understand what I'm trying to say. Or it will also avoid those things, right? Because who wants to feel pain, right? So this is why you need to self-introspect yourself. You need to question every single belief that you hold about yourself. You need to reflect back on your past and really just know yourself. So this is also another reason why you want to meditate, or you don't even have to meditate. All you have to do is just think in silence without any distractions in an empty room, because I heard this quote once and it is very powerful. Every single man's problems come from his inability to sit alone in a room by himself. And that is very powerful, because in those moments where you have no distractions, remember the 21st century is so fast paced and full of distractions that you don't even have the time to process anything. So then, how the hell are the ideas that are supposed to change your life come to you when you don't even listen? Me personally, when I see that someone isn't taking my advice, I just stop talking to them. So how come the intuition from your desired reality come to if you aren't even there? How can the chaos that is outside of you finally cease to exist if your intuition that is telling you how to get a life that is full of peace isn't even talking to you anymore because you stopped listening so long ago? This is very dangerous. So really, take at least a couple of minutes and slowly scale it up to an hour every single day, and you will literally be shocked by how much self-introspection helps you in your day-to-day life. People have literally started to treat me so much better just because I work on my mindsets, and since I also read so many books and watch so many educational videos and also listen to podcasts and all of this stuff. But it is mainly from the fact that I have overcome all of my traumas, all of my anxieties, all of my suppressed emotions, all of my unpleasant memories. And keep in mind, when I say trauma, I don't mean trauma as in like, I saw someone die in front of me. When I say trauma, I only mean like an intense, negative, emotional experience. That's what I mean by trauma, right? So yeah, this is very, very interesting. And so, how can we actually implement this practically? Well, like I said already, meditation is a must. You need to meditate every single day for at least 10 to 20 minutes. That should be absolutely perfect. And in that time, I want you to just do nothing, right? Because when many people meditate, and here's something very interesting, many people meditate, they constantly complain about the fact that they can't concentrate because their mind keeps wandering off. And that's a perfect sign. But they don't realize it, and then they quit and they go back into their old lifestyles. What that means when you can't focus and when your mind starts to produce all of those distractions, what it means is that your mind is slowly emptying yourself, right? All of those 40,000 to 60,000 thoughts are finally getting processed, and they're finally getting out of your subconscious mind. And since the subconscious mind is the birth womb of your reality, you definitely want those thoughts that aren't even yours out of there before they can cause any more chaos. And then, when your subconscious mind is completely clear, then the godlike intuition will come to you. Then you'll be intuitively guided to take certain actions, to change certain things about yourself that will get you that reality that you so to desire to control. And here's a very final and interesting thing. Like I already said, the universe responds to you, not the other way around. It's called the universe for a reason, for a very important one. They've told you that you're just a bystander and that you're just a puny little human in the game of reality and that you have no word or you have no might. That's bullshit, right? Your most dominant subconscious beliefs, thoughts, and convictions, expectations, and there are many other things that are emotionally charged, create and make up the world that you live in. So you need to realize who is actually the priority, because it is your consciousness, it is you. The world unfolds from you. But if you have the belief that it is the other way around, even if you do all of this, even if you take the action to be disciplined, even if you self-introspect, even if you do the meditation to clear out your mind every single day, it will all be in vain. Because even if you do have that one belief that just says that I'm just a puny little human and I'm just a bystander in the game of reality, then guess what will happen? The universe will treat you like nothing, and it will give you people, conditions, circumstances, timings, and events that will reflect you being stuck. And then you will be like, oh, why me? Why is this happening? Whatever. You need to realize that your state of consciousness is the priority. And that the moment that you change a belief, which is just a simple decision, and you feel it as if it was already here, so you give yourself the feeling not later, but right now, as if it was already physically true right now, then it instantly will be. Because your subconscious mind doesn't adhere to time. It is above all of the third-dimensional realm limitations of time and space. It views everything as one, and so it does view time as one also, only the present moment. And I guess the final thing, which is a very important one, have you ever noticed that the people who are so confident literally don't even talk about controlling anything? And this is where it all circles back. When you have an empty subconscious mind, which has no thoughts that aren't your own, which is completely cleared off through meditation, when you know yourself on such a deep level that literally no one can convince you of your past otherwise, and when you have such an elite discipline that nothing can break it, you just have so much conviction in yourself. And like Nero Knowledge has said many times before, conviction is the elixir of manifestation. Conviction is literally what will make all of your manifestations possible. It will literally make you control your reality. But you won't even call it control. You will just call it life. And that's the key difference. Because when you try to control something, then what does that imply to the universe? It implies that you're not in control. And so, do you see how interesting this actually is? There are two chairs in the universe. You can't sit in both of them at once. There's the chair of having, and there's the chair of not having. And all the time, you're adhering to you're adhering to one of those. Either you have something or you don't. Either you are something or you're not. What is important is what you're implying to the universe. So if you're trying to control something, then that means that you aren't in control. And if you were, quote unquote, in control, would you call it control? No, you would just call it life. But you don't have any conviction in yourself. You don't trust yourself that you can actually do this. And all of this is happening subconsciously, which I know that right now you're consciously like, what are you talking about? Of course I trust myself. But subconsciously you don't. And hence why there's chaos outside of you. So remember, this is all just about building conviction. Because if you don't trust yourself, then why should the universe trust you also? If you don't know yourself, then why should the universe reflect clarity back to you? And if you don't know what is happening inside of you, then why should you know why things are happening outside of you, which is chaos? It's all just an inner game. That's all it is. So remember, discipline, self-knowing, and introspection. All of these will give you the conviction that you need to start controlling reality. And yeah, once you start to apply this to any area of your life, I guarantee to you, everything will work out. And by the way, if you're more interested about this manifestation stuff, and if you feel like there's more potential that is hidden inside of you that you haven't been able to unleash, then first link in the description. You can check out my Timeless Reader's Mindsets. And if that's not you, then skip it. But for now, go over your notes, go over this again, and go and actually think about this instead of just clicking on another video. I don't want you to fail. I don't want you to actually to come back to these videos. I want you to actually apply this knowledge. I want you to actually reflect back on it, and I want you to apply it to your own life, then get the results, and then be satisfied. So yeah, go over this again, and yeah, have a nice rest of your day.